Welcome. I'm excited to have you here today with me as I share 6 steps to add 100K in 30 to 90 days with one virtual or live event and only a handful of people. So, if you are joining me today, first of all, I'm really thankful and grateful that you are spending your time with me, and I am excited to give you this content. This is one of the strategies that I teach my clients and that I use in my own business to really help people bring in multiple clients at a time, get big cash injections into their business, and really scale their business to brand new levels. So, welcome to this training, and I'm excited you're here. I would love to know who's on. So, if you are interested in learning how to have 100K plus events with just a handful of people, then I would love for you to type in the chat right now 100K event so that I can connect with you. I can know who's here. I can get to know you and we can build that relationship. So, super excited to have you here. All right, I am going to very quickly just tell you who I am. If you're coming across me for the first time, we've never met or we don't know each other. My name is Ann Carden, and I am a strategic business growth consultant, and I work with elite coaches and consultants who are leveling up their business and they want to build a high-end business with ultra high-end clients. So they want to take their business into multiple 6 and 7 figures, but they want to do it working with fewer clients and having a business that gives them a lot more freedom. So a lot of simplicity to but multiplying their money. So if you are interested in having a conversation around how you can do this in your business, then you can book a call with me at acarden.com. All right. Well, I am super excited to be here with you. I want you to know this strategy can be very rinse and repeat in your business when you get it really going. And think about it this way: if you ran one of these events quarterly and you made $100,000 or more every time you ran this event, you would have a $400,000 coaching and consulting business. Now, a recent event that I did for myself brought in over $150,000 in new business. And so this is what I want to help you do today. Obviously, I'm just going to give you the high level steps because we can't get too into the weeds, but I know this, you're going to walk away with massive value because there are a lot of problems people have when they are especially trying to run virtual events with people not showing up, with people registering and not coming. I'm sure this is the case today. A lot of people registered for this live, but they won't all be here live, right? And so this is typically what you get with a lot of virtual events. So I want to show you how to fix some of the problems that are out there that you might be having if you are running virtual events. I would love to know who is on with me or that is currently running virtual or live events. Now, I'm also talking about fairly small events. I'm talking about maybe a small workshop with maybe 10 or 20 or 30 people in the room. I'm talking about small virtual events with same thing, maybe 10 or 20 or 30 people in the room. Who is doing that right now? I would love to know. Say yes. If you are, just drop that in the comments. And we'll talk about some of the problems that you might be having and how you can overcome these problems. So, I'm excited. Very quickly, I also want to tell you that if you are interested in actually getting this done in your business after you hear the content today, I do have a luxury retreat coming up in a couple of weeks. It's a business accelerator. It's an amazing event, but we are actually working on this strategy. We're going to be working on everyone's event and doing everything that they need to do to be able to get this going and actually have an event before the end of the year so they can bring in hopefully 6 figures or even more. And that is the strategy that we're working on at the event. But it is also all inclusive and there's a lot of fun things going on. And you can check that out if you are interested. I only have 2 spots left, but go to Expert in You, that you is spelled out YOU, retreat.com, and you can check out the page. And if it looks like it's something that you want to come to, then you can apply there and we'll have a conversation to see if it will be a good fit for you. So, all right, let's jump in. So, first of all, have you experienced any of these problems running events? You get a lot of the wrong people in the room. You get people who register and then they don't show. Maybe if you've been running like 5-day challenges and things along that line, you get people that drop off. Is that a thing? What are some other problems that you have when you're running events? Type those in, because I want to share with you some secrets to help you better your events if you are running them. And if you're not running them, then you're really going to learn a lot today as well. The other thing is getting the wrong people there. So maybe people that don't have the money to buy, is that a common thing for a lot of people? One of the reasons I love the smaller event strategy that I'm going to be teaching you today is because, number one, you don't need hundreds and hundreds of people. So that's exhausting to try to get hundreds and hundreds of people into your event. The other thing I love about this strategy is it's just simple, and you can almost just pop it up and do it whenever you want, because you don't need tons and tons of people. But you're also going to get the right people, so you'll have a high conversion. So I'll show you how to do that today. All right, so let's jump in. Step number one to creating 100K plus events. And I'm going to talk about, let's say, a 3-day virtual. And when I say 3 days, I'm not talking about 3 full days. My 3-day virtual events, and the thing that I teach my clients is like 2.5 hours for 3 days. And when you do this, you won't have people falling off if you put all these steps in place that I'm going to share with you. So I'm talking about a 3-day. If you're doing a live event, it could be a small workshop. So maybe you're doing a 4 or 5 hour workshop. It could be an all-day workshop if you want to. And these are actually free events. And I want to share with you why I love this strategy versus charging something low ticket like $47 or maybe even $400 and having people come to that event, because I don't think that that's necessarily pulling the right people into the room. When you have people, I pay a lot to come to people's events just to learn. But I'll never be their client. I'm not going to be their client. And so when you charge low fees, this is what you're getting. You're not really getting the right people into your event. You might be making a little bit of money on the front end, but you are leaving a lot of money on the back end. This is my opinion, and this is what I have found works in my business and also works for my clients. This is what I want to teach you. All right, so step number one is start with the end in mind. You have to think about, what are you trying to sell or move people into from your event? And then you want to reverse engineer. Because here's the thing, your entire event should be planned so that it naturally gets people to want to work with you or become a client. And so think about this. The title of the event should pull the right people, should get the right people interested. If you have said that you wanted to learn about this today, the title interested you, right? And so you want your event title to do the very same thing. So the title basically sells the event, okay? And then the content that you create leads them into wanting to work with you or buy from you. Now, the reason this is so important is because a lot of people don't do this right. There's no natural progression to lead people into want to buy more or go deeper with you. And so you want to fix this. You want to make sure that your content is relevant to the people that are there, and you want to actually help them do something. You want to help them accomplish something. People can't get my 30 plus years of being an entrepreneur experience in 6 hours, right? They're never going to get everything, but you can go deep with something and you can really teach them something so that they see the value and they also get to experience what it is like to work with you. So this is how your event should be structured, first of all. So start with the end in mind and then reverse engineer and make sure your title and your content are relevant to what you are trying to move people into, what you're trying to sell. That's the first thing. And the other thing that is in step one is set the financial goal. How much do you want that event to do? A lot of people do not do this. And I want you to know that business is really, it is numbers. Yes, you're serving people. Yes, you're helping people, but it still is really numbers. And so set the goal for the event. And I'll show you in step two why this is so important. But if you don't set up that goal for what you're trying to accomplish in that event, you're not going to likely hit it. So what is the financial goal you want for your event? Okay. All right. Step number 2 is do the math. All right. And when I say do the math, there are a few things that go into this. Number 1 is price matters. Now, remember, I said a handful of people. I'm not talking about trying to get hundreds of people into your events and running millions of dollars worth of ads. And I'm just not talking about all of that. I teach simplicity. I teach a simple business model to my clients so they can make more money working less time. So, price matters. What are you trying to move people into? It should be priced. I teach my clients $10,000, $20,000, $25,000, $35,000, or even more. This is the type of offer you want to do for this type of an event. First of all, if you're trying to get higher level clients, they don't resonate with the real low end stuff anyway. Okay. They expect to pay, they expect to invest. And so these are the people you want to pull into the room, whether that's live or virtual. All right. So your price matters. And I want you to think about this. If you're selling something for $25,000 in your event, even if it's virtual, you only need 4 people to hit $100,000. Is this making sense? Type yes in the chat if this makes sense. If you're selling something for $10,000, you only need 10 sales. Now, obviously, the higher the price, the fewer sales you need, right? And the fewer clients, people you're going to need in the room. All right. The next number that you want to do the math on is how many people do you need to have in your event to hit those goals that you have? So let's say you typically close 1 out of 4 people that you talk to. All right. If you close 1 out of 4 people, then you have about a 25% sales conversion. So if you apply that to your event, now as you do these, you'll get to where you really do know your sales conversion. But if you're just starting out, this is a good formula for you to use. So if you are typically close people at, about 25% of the people that you talk to, and you are selling something for $25,000 in your event, then you're going to have 16 people come to your event who are qualified. I'll talk more about that to make those 4 sales. Now, it might be higher, right? It could be higher. And if you do a really good job of bringing the right people into the room, it will be higher. Often my events close at 50%. So, and it's a handful of people. So the better you are at closing, the fewer people you really have to get into the room. And this is why I love these small events, because they're intimate. People really get to experience you. You get to build the value and the relationships with people. So all of these things are such an important piece of being able to sell these high-end services in even a virtual event. Okay. All right. So do the math. Make sure you start with the end in mind. Step number 1. Step number 2 is do the math. Your price matters. And then how many people do you need to have in the room? Okay. And by the way, if you're just jumping on, if you are interested in actually implementing this into your business, this is one of the things that I teach my clients and one of the things that I do with them. And we're actually doing this at a live luxury retreat in just a couple of weeks. It's an all-inclusive retreat. You come, not only are we going to implement this into your business and get everything done for you, but we are also ziplining. We're taking a dinner cruise on the lake. We're staying in a celebrity mansion. It's 3 nights, 2 days. You can go check out that event at expertinyouretreat.com. And I only have 2 spots left, and I'm closing the doors on it this week or when those last 2 spots get filled. So if you're interested in checking that out and applying to come, then you can do that. Make sure you do that right away. Okay, so that being said, step number 3. Is everybody tracking with this so far? I would love to hear your feedback. Yes, there will be a replay, Loretta, and happy to have you on. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so if this is tracking so far, if this is making sense, I would love for you to type a yes in, and what right now is resonating with you. What's something maybe you haven't heard before or something that's different so far? Drop that in the comments. Again, I love to connect with the people that are here. I love to get to know you. I'm a nice person. I'm a friendly person. So I like to get to know you. Okay. So how many people do you need? All right. Step number 3 is write this down, the velvet rope strategy. Okay. I want to talk about this. So years and years ago, I read a book by Seth Godin, and I don't even remember the book anymore. I should have looked it up. But Seth Godin, who's a brilliant marketer, talked about the velvet rope strategy. And it is like, if you think about it this way, if you've never heard of it before, if you think about it this way, if you go to a red carpet event, the Oscars or the Emmys or whatever, only certain people get behind the velvet rope, right? Right? Does that make sense? And only certain people get into the room. So when you are running your events, you should have a velvet rope strategy. That means only the right people get into the room. So you qualify people, you vet people, you make sure that you're putting the right people into the room that is going to keep the room at a really high level. Because when you're targeting higher end people, higher level people, they want to be around other high level people. One of the things people love about my events, I hear it over and over again when I get feedback from them, is it was so great being surrounded by high level thinkers and people doing big things. So when you fill the room with a lot of high level people, like the energy comes up and things get passed and ideas and questions get asked that helps the whole room. It's an amazing way to bring the right people into your room. So you want to have a velvet rope. Everyone doesn't get in. Everyone doesn't get access. And this is also why you can do them free and bring in really, really high end people that will want to buy. So you want to have a great qualifying process. Now, again, I teach my clients, we work all this out. They have an exact process to follow for their events. And this is one of the things that I do with them. But you need to have a great qualifying process. Use the velvet rope. If you let just anyone in, you've got all different levels. You don't have the right people. You're going to have newbies in with people that are maybe making a lot of money or doing bigger things in their business or in their life. And so you've got to really vet. You've got to vet the people that you're bringing in. This will keep your events really high and they will feed, the people will feed off of each other. And this is also going to help your sales conversion. Okay. So a really, really important factor. What do you think? Type yes if this is something new for you that you're just hearing for the first time, or if this is a new concept, or if this sounds exciting and makes sense. Go ahead and type yes. I would love to know what you're thinking about this. Is everyone tracking with this? See, this is a missing piece for a lot of people. They're just letting anyone in. It's like, okay, yeah, everybody come to my event. Everyone come to my event. And then they're getting a lot of the wrong people there. And then they wonder why they're not making the sales. It also brings down the level of the room when you're letting too many different level people in. All right. A good example of this was, let's just say you're a mindset coach and you want to work with people that are really interested in elevating their mindset to do really big things in their life or their business. But then you bring it, you let anyone in, and then you've got these naysayers and these really negative people. Well, you can see how the energy is not going to work, right? The people that are like, thinking up here and they have this high level thinking are going to be really discouraged, and a lot of times they'll drop off or they won't stay. They want to be, again, surrounded by the right people. So this is a huge piece of bringing in high level people to your events. Okay, step number 4 is give real value. You're actually teaching something. You're helping them do something. When people come into my event, free events, they go out and I've had people make money the very next day. I just had someone message me on LinkedIn a couple of days ago. I think it was Sunday. And she goes, "Ann, I used this strategy and I brought in over a $36,000 client." And it was a strategy she learned in my event. And so this is what I'm talking about. You don't hold back and you really show up and you just give your heart and you serve and you're there to help people. And I will tell you this, the people that want more from you will buy. Some people will go out and they'll see if they can do it on their own. but then they will come back later and buy. And I've had this happen where somebody went out from my very next day, increased the amount of money he was asking from a prospect, and closed his biggest client ever. And then he actually came back and enrolled to work with me. He's like, okay, if I got this free, what is it going to be like to work with you? And exactly, that's exactly right. Again, you can't give them everything in a half a day event or a 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours. They're not going to get everything, but they get to experience you. They get to see if they like you. They get to see kind of how you work. And you really build that deep relationship with them. And it really is building that trust that you are the person that can help them if they are really ready for what you're teaching and what you're helping people do. So you don't hold back in your event. You teach them something. Now, maybe you give them an overview of everything else, but you go deep into something. So one of the past couple events I did, one was, how to have $25,000 months that keep growing. And so we went into that strategy and I mapped it out for them and showed them how to do that. And that was actually the person that just messaged me that said she was in that event and she just closed a $36,000+ client. The other event that I did is how to really create very high end offers. So $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 offers. So those are all the things I help people do in their business. Okay. Is this all making sense? Drop a yes. I would love to hear your comments if this is making sense. All right. Also, very quickly, if you are interested in doing all of this and getting my help to do this, check out my luxury retreat coming up in a couple of weeks, where this is actually what we're working on at that retreat, but we're also going to have a blast and there's a lot of cool stuff. It's all inclusive and you can check that out at expertinyouretreat.com. I do only have 2 spots left, so make sure if you're interested in coming, you apply right away and grab one of those spots. And if it's not a good fit or I don't feel like this is relevant for you, then it won't be a good fit for you to come. But if this is something you really want to do in your business and you want to bring in higher end clients this way, then by all means, you might want to join us at that live retreat where we're actually getting the work done. Okay. Everybody's going to leave with already marketing their event. So I hope you will go check that out. expertinyouretreat.com. Okay. Step number 5 is don't sell in your event, but get people to want to buy. I'm going to repeat this. It's a big one. Don't sell in your event, but get people to want to buy. There's a big difference. So you want to have a rock solid sales process that is interactive, that gets people excited about wanting to work with you and move forward. And it shows them where they have gaps in what it is you do with people. But it's also a fun way to get them engaged, and it shows them the gaps at the same time. This is the sales process I teach people, and I never have to close sales. I just share. This is my program. This is how you can work with me. We go through this process, and then a lot of times I've had people come to me and they'll say, I already knew, like, let's say it was a 3-day event. Recently just signed a client. She goes, I knew on day 2 I was going to hire you. I knew I was going to work with you on day 2. So that's what I'm talking about. That's the power of doing this type of a strategy in the right way. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. So when the content's really high, the room's really high, the energy's really high, you're pouring into people, and you're truly helping them. I mean, they could leave your event and go do something with what you taught them. You will get more conversions. All right. So you don't have to sell. You don't have to do anything that's icky or pushy or slimy or makes people like uncomfortable or feel like they have to go take a shower. You don't have to do that. Have you ever been to an event where, half of the event is the person hard selling you? No, I mean, it's miserable, right? Now I'm sharing my event with you, but I'm not going into tons of detail. You can just go check it out, right? If it's a good fit, hey, let me know. If it's not, no worries, no big deal. That's the way I like to sell. I like to attract versus sell. I want people to want to buy. I don't want to sell them. So big difference. And this is also how high-end people buy. They don't want to be sold to, and they don't have to be pressured or pushed into anything. If it's a good fit for them, they'll buy. If it's not, they won't. That's it. Okay. So, but you do have to show them the value that they'll get working with you. Okay. Step number 6. This is where you close sales, but you're not doing sales calls. So one of the things that I teach people is to do a follow-up call with everyone that comes to their event. So now think about this. If you only have 10 or 12 or 15 people, you can easily do a 20-minute follow-up call with those people. And the idea is to get feedback and testimonials about the event, because this will help you make your next event even better. So you genuinely want that feedback. That's how you'll continue to get better and build your business even bigger with this type of a strategy. So you get on a follow-up call with every single person that attends your event to get a testimonial or get feedback. And if they want to buy, this is where they can talk to you about your services. And so again, a lot of times they can't wait to get on that follow-up call with you because they're already ready to buy. They're ready to start working with you. But I don't have to get on that call and sell anyone. And I even say it's not a sales call. I just want to get your feedback. I want to get your testimonial, if you're willing to give me one, about what you got from the event. And I mean, I have lots of these testimonials, that are ready from people that said, oh, I went out the next day and made more money, or I did this and I did that. So you want that because that's great for your marketing. So if I ever do want to turn one of my events into just a product and just sell that particular event as a product, I've already got the testimonials for it. So it's like you're accomplishing a lot of things with this strategy. The other thing is they will ask you how they can buy or how they can work with you if it feels like a fit to them. And so the conversation is, okay, Anne, tell me how this works. Tell me how I can do this with you, or tell me, maybe what else you have. For example, if I was pitching my live event and someone was in the UK, that might not be a good fit, right? But they might still want to work with me. So what else do I have that they can invest in? So that's a very different conversation than trying to push people into buying. Do you agree? I would love to hear your thoughts. I can't see the comments. I'm trying to see the comments coming in, but type yes. Let me know what you're thinking, and let me know, out of these steps that I've talked about, what's like been kind of an aha for you. Has something really resonated, like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm not doing in the right way. Or that's what I've, been doing that hasn't been helping me make the sales or make the money that I want. Is there anything that's coming to your mind out of the things I talked about? So let me just go back over the 6 steps again very quickly to wrap this up. Number 1 is start with the end in mind. Remember your title, your content is going to sell the event, and then how much money do you want to make? Step number 2 is do the math. This is all around your pricing and how many people you have to have in the room. Step 3 is the velvet rope. This is filling the event with the right people. Everyone doesn't get a seat at the table. Everyone doesn't get into the room. Okay, very different strategy from what most people are out there doing. And this is why you don't need 100 people. You don't need 1 million people to come into your event to make great money. And then step 4 is to run an awesome event. Give, and show up and let people experience working with you. This is what will pull them to want to work with you more, if they really resonate with everything you do and who you are. And then step 5 is don't sell. Get people to want to move them into wanting to buy. Very different. And then step 6 is have an incredible follow-up system where people will actually be excited to get on the phone with you or on a call with you. I do a Zoom call. Get on a Zoom call with you because they are ready. They're ready to buy in. And when you do this, when you run your events like this, again, think about this. if you could make $100,000 every time you run an event like this, and you run one even quarterly, you could run them more often. They're really not difficult to run more often when you don't need 100 people. But if you ran one even once a quarter, within a year, you'll have a $400,000 and beyond coaching and consulting business. And you'll have a business that's simpler, working with fewer clients and making a lot more money. And personally, I don't know who would not want that. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't have a 10K or a 25K or a 35K offer, you should. You should have one. You should have premium offers if especially if you're experienced and you're great at what you do. You absolutely should have premium offers, because you can't bring in high-end clients if you don't have anything to sell them. And so this is, again, what I help clients do, is get these things packaged and be able to market and sell them so that they can make bigger, faster leaps in their business. Again, working with fewer clients at a much, much higher level. I wish I could see I see a couple of comments here. So I would love your feedback on what you think about this. And once again, I just want to share with you that if you want to do this and you actually want my personal help and you want to surround yourself with other high-level coaches and consultants, then you might be a great fit to come to my Expert in You luxury retreat, which is a business accelerator, and it's coming up October 3rd through the 6th. It's in Branson, Missouri, Table Rock Lake. We're staying in a celebrity mansion. Everything's included except your travel there and back. Private chef coming in. We're doing a photo shoot. You're going to walk away with brand shots. We are working on this strategy. So we're actually going to get your event done and start marketing it while we're at the retreat. We're going to zip line. We're going to take a dinner cruise, a showboat dinner cruise. It's going to be an amazing event. I did one in May. We stayed in a castle, and I taught marketing and media strategies. And the testimonials, you can check them out at the page when you go check this event out. The testimonial said people said it was the thing they ever did in their business. They had an amazing time. I held nothing back. I mean, you're treated like a king or a queen when you're at my luxury events, and they are just a blast. So if you're interested, I only have 2 spots left. You can check that out at expertinyouretreat.com. Feel free to also message me on LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you're seeing this. If you want to just chat with me about it, that's fine too. But we're actually implementing this strategy into everyone's business that attends. So 2 spots left, closing the doors on that event because it's coming up here very quickly, but you can check it out there. So I would love your feedback. I hope these 6 steps are helpful. When you implement them, you will have a rinse and repeat marketing system that can bring in high-end clients, and you can really grow and scale your business into multiple 6 and 7 figures. Also, if you have any questions, drop them below in the comments, because I will go back and check the feed, and I will make sure that I will answer your questions or reach out to you and answer your question. And if you're watching the replay, put replay so that I know you were here. Thank you all so much. I am so grateful you were here and spent time with me. I hope you got massive value from this. You have an amazing day. God bless you all. Have an awesome rest of the week. Bye-bye.